Hello and welcome to Cloud Forest Vibes. My name's Bobby, and this is how I grow orchids and carnivorous plants. Hello and welcome to Cloud Forest Vibes. Today's video is going to be a care collab video. We are going to talk about Miltonia phymatochila, or Oncidium phymatochilum. I've got a rather short list today. It's myself, plants and other things, and TD more than just orchids. Just the three of us. I don't know a whole lot of other people that grow this plant. Please feel free to jump in the comments below if you do, if you guys want to join the next round for the care collab for this plant. But yeah, just the three of us today. So as you all know, the point of these care collab videos is for folks to get together from different areas and talk about their care for this plant, just to try to help other growers who might be trying to figure out information for these different species and types of orchids that we talk about in these videos, and help you guys out. Hopefully one of our growing styles suits your needs or suits your environment or whatever, and you guys are able to learn and take away from these videos. So again, big shout out to Nina over at Ninja's Orchids. She's the creator of these care collab videos, and it's been a really awesome and fun series to join in on. It's been a really big thing for the orchid community, and I know that I appreciate it a lot, and I know a lot of others out there really do as well. So Nina, awesome job again. Alright, so let's jump in here and let's talk about Miltonia phymatochila. This is my Miltonia phymatochila that I got from Equigenera about a year or so ago. It was the spring of 2020. I do not remember the exact date. Again, I have lost all my orchid notes somehow. Orchid Sense, the app, completely failed me, and I have since downloaded another app, but as you can see, I have quite a few plants, so it's quite the task getting everything back in there. So having that said, it is now called an Oncidium, Oncidium phymatochilum. In fact, it's been lumped into the overall Oncidium genus like so many other orchids. But in this grow tent, it is Miltonia phymatochila still, and probably will be because that's how I purchased it. I don't agree with all the name changes. I know it's a controversial topic amongst the orchid world. Some do, some don't. But you know, scientifically, I guess a lot of it makes sense. But for growers, you know, we tend to be creatures of habit, and I'm sticking with the old name. Anyhow, Oncidium phymatochilum, or Miltonia phymatochila, is found in Brazil at elevations of 650 to 1300 meters. It's a medium-sized, warm to cool growing epiphyte that blooms in the fall on a pendant, 3 to 6 foot long, many-flowered inflorescence. It does have fragrant flowers, and they are rather showy. We'll take a look at them here in just a moment. The plant itself has these ovoid, whatever you call it, ovioid-shaped, little compressed, flattened pseudobulbs. They are round from one angle, and they are kind of flattened from the other side, just like you see here. It is an epiphyte, so I do grow it mounted on a piece of cork bark with some sphagnum moss that is in bad need of changing. It gets moderate light levels, I'd say about medium light. It does live down here in the bottom, but that is mainly because the flower spike, as it was mentioned in the description from iSoap, is about 6 feet long. If I start scanning up, you can see the branches, and it just goes everywhere. Blooms absolutely all over the place right now throughout the grow tent, which is a really cool thing. Anyhow, I grow this in intermediate conditions. Everything in this tent is intermediate, and I keep the humidity levels in here about 80% to 85% at all times. That's why I'm able to grow so many things successfully mounted. My roots don't ever really fully dry out. It stays very moist in here. Even the ones that are bare rooted, sometimes it takes a full day for the mountain to dry. So I use it to my advantage, and all my epiphytic plants get to grow mounted as they would in the wild. Or as close as it would be, at least. Let's see, feed levels for this thing. I feed it standard like I do most of my other plants. It's about 150 to 180 parts per million of MSU fertilizer. Again, I do supplement it with kelp and CalMag, calcium nitrate sporadically when I'm feeding. and it gets watered once the mount gets to just about dry. I never let it fully dry out or get crispy dry, but I let it approach dryness. One thing I would really like to do actually next year, if I can, is move this plant up a little bit higher, and I would love to let the flower spike arch, but from where it is, basically on the floor of the greenhouse, I have it kind of propped up and tangled up in amongst everything else, and it does touch the roof line, which is over 6 feet tall. So I don't think I have enough space in this grow tent to actually let it bloom the way it wants to bloom, which is unfortunate. I think it would look really awesome with a big long hanging spike full of these flowers, but we will just have to see, I guess, what happens in the future. So speaking of flowers, let's get up here off the ground and we'll take a nice look at these blooms before we wrap this video. So here are the blooms. As I said, they're really nice, they're really showy. I have some awesome pictures of this plant I'll throw up, but we'll try to give you a nice 90-degree turnaround for it now. You see all the sepals and petals, they're recoiled and curved back on themselves. Each flower is a little bit different with the pattern and the way that the petals and sepals curl. It's a really nice and attractive way of presenting its blooms, and they're extremely abundant. What you see here is just one small section of a spike. If you look, they are just everywhere. I have the spike resting on this cattleya here. Got more branches and branches upon branches, and this thing is just chock full of these awesome little blooms. They are starting to fade a little bit, I will say. Some of them get a little bit spray with the mister when I'm watering some of the other plants. Unfortunately, there's almost no way to avoid it, but as you see, I mean, floriferous doesn't even begin to cover how much is on this spike. I've talked about this before, break this spike a few times. There's one stump, here's another stump, here's another one here. So had I not broken it, who knows how tall it would be or how many more blooms we'd have. But again, we do have quite a few, and they are lovely. They are fragrant. It has a nice floral aroma. It's competing right now with another orchid that is extremely fragrant that you guys will see in one of my upcoming updates, but it does fill this tent with a really nice fragrance, so that is another bonus. Besides being beautiful and abundant, I guess a downside, it took about 6 months for this spike to grow and form and finally open. So if you are impatient, this may not be one for you. It takes quite a while. It's a very slow spiking orchid. If you think twinkles are bad, double that. So anyhow, that's about all. That's my video for today. Again, please go check out the other channels, Plants and Other Things and TD More Than Just Orchids, and let's see what they have to say about theirs. I'm eager to see if they have blooms and how well theirs are doing and how they grow theirs. Anyhow, this is Bobby from Cloud Forest Vibes saying thank you so much as always for watching. I do appreciate it, and until next time, stay safe and happy growing.